Hi, good afternoon to you. I just wanted to make this brief video to update you on some work that we're going to be doing now and in the future for this class. Okay, so we've just completed the evaluation of customer service, which is actually a good assignment to do because when you really think about it, really small factors separate a pretty good, strong business compared to an average one. Because some of you work for great companies and some of you enjoy the experience, and some of you have worked or had worked for companies before where you didn't think, too highly of them. Hopefully, though, when you're done with WCCC and you go on to the next step of your life and your career, that you'll find a place that really that you find interesting or enjoyable. I was thinking about this today, but as a customer, one of my favorite companies is Southwest Airlines, which is they more fly more out in the west to Las Vegas and other places, but they're all over the place. But I love them, and the people are very enthusiastic and really are into their work, and they just make flying with them a joy, and it's just a nice experience overall. But then, conversely, I've been on other airlines and the seats are too small. And, I flew on one airline and they gave you one bag of pretzels and just a cup or glass of ice water. And I flew from Pittsburgh to San Francisco. When you fly on Southwest, they'll give you as many bags of peanuts and as many, soft drinks or whatnot as you want. So I think that that's a pretty good situation. So, but the customer service evaluation, I had some of you that commented very favorably on that, enjoyed it. And then with discussion board 2, that ethics assignment was interesting to do. I did comment to some people that my brother Steve, who works for the federal government, he was in Germany for 8 years. Germany is a very, very different country. So if you get a DUI in Germany, you're going to jail for 30 days. If you are in an accident on the Autobahn, you can drive more than 100 miles an hour. But I mean, they consider that a very serious offense. So, that becomes a problem there. My brother Steve said in the town where he lived that they had quiet time. So from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, you couldn't make noise, you couldn't work in your car, you couldn't be outside much. So it's just different. They have stricter environmental laws. Unions are really, really big over there. So if M Global was doing a contract, they would have to hire a certain percentage of union workers to dispose of, waste from construction. That's, you have to do it in a certain way. So it's a really very strict country, but they also produce good cars. They produce, BMW, Mercedes, they have BMW motorcycles. I think Porsche is made over there, as is Volkswagen, Audi. So, they do a lot of things really, really well. So, we do have that done. For this week, for this Friday, the 19th, all you need to do is to send me an article related to your summary assignment. So for your summary assignment, you need to find a 3 to 5 page article related to your field or your discipline, and then for like the 26th, you're going to have to summarize it in 3 ways: a visual organizer, a longer summary, and then a shorter summary. There's a couple of different examples in that red sample booklet that I sent to you, and there's a number of examples, in assignments for you to look at, for you to get the idea. But it's in essence, you're summarizing the same information in 3 different ways, and so you would wonder why you would do that. But there are definitely times, to do that. I teach a criminal justice writing class, and one of the detectives that came in said that there was a family in Connellsville that was making counterfeit money, and so they inevitably got caught. But you have to go through the different steps. So you eventually go to like federal court, but you have to go through like a federal magistrate and so on, and you have to present the information in a couple different ways. And so he said he had to like write a brief, but at one point in when he was in court, he had to show who was all involved, like who all the family members were, what type of equipment they were using, where they distributed the money, and so on. So he did that as a visual organizer. So he gave the same information in a couple of different ways. So that's something, from time to time that you have to do. And furthermore, I've had students in this class before I had a student that worked for Range Resources, which is a Marcellus Shale gas company. And so the municipality in this one Ohio area, they wanted to know how Range Resources disposed of wastewater. So what was trucked away, what was, some of it is, if it has a low particulate matter, it's emitted back into the streams, and so on. Like, what is their plan for dealing with wastewater? And so they had other questions. And so he had to write this report, and they had to present it at a township meeting, but he had to write sort of like a brief outline, and then he had to write a document for them to present. So my point to you is, in your career, from time to time, you are going to have to submit some information in a couple of different ways. So that's the purpose of that item. And then just the other point that I wanted to tell you is for the 26th as well, you're going to have to do a brief proposal for your consumer report. And every semester I have students work on this assignment. And what I want you to do between now and then, though, is I want you, number one, is try to figure out a product that you'd like to buy that you want to spend $100 or more on, okay? Then number two, you're going to need to pick 3 brands and 3 models of that product. And then, number 3, you want to try to find some places where you'd like to do your research. And so that is really, really important. I had students that bought one of those exercise watches or bands. It's called a fitness band. I think the Nike Fit makes one, and so on. And so she looked at 3 of those, and so she chose one of them. I've had people that did running shoes. I've had people that did handguns, bow and arrows. I've had a guy that spent $1,500 on like a fly rod. I mean, it was really the top of the line, obviously, but that's what he has done. People buy new vehicles, motorcycles and whatnot. The key point, though, is to do a little bit of research now and do some, comparison, and you'll be able to find out which ones are similar. So, like, if you're going to look at a Honda CR-V all-wheel drive vehicle, say like the LX, which is the entry-level model, then you would look at the Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive, which is their entry-level model, and then like Mazda has the CX-5, and theirs is like the Touring all-wheel drive. So they're all around $23,000, $24,000. And so what you're going to do is you're going to look at them based on at least 4 points of criteria. So reliability, warranty, interior space, total cost of ownership over 5 years, or whatever it is, but that's what you're doing. So I just wanted to let you know, though, start to spend some time this week and even next week and looking around a little bit to figure out what you're going to do. Don't just tell me when you write your proposal, I'm going to be looking at underwater digital cameras, because they have these waterproof and shockproof cameras now. So if you want to take them for hunting, or if you're into scuba diving or whatnot, and if you wanted to use them for those purposes, but don't tell me I'm going to look at Nikon, Minolta, and Canon. There's specific brands of them, specific models of those brands that you have to look at. So do some research and give some thought to that this week and then next week. The other item that I wanted to tell you is much later in the semester, we're going to go to a website called collegecentral.com/WCCC, and you're going to upload at least 3 documents into a portfolio. And with the portfolio, of course, you can forward it to me, but you can also forward it to other employers, or to employers. I'm not an employer, but you can forward it along. And then the other thing is you're going to have to create a resume. If you have a resume already, then what you should do is upload it into College Central and get it approved. There's instructions on that in assignments. You don't necessarily have to worry about it, but I just wanted to tell you about that because it's very, very good. When you go into College Central, like I said, it's collegecentral.com/WCCC. When you go in the first time, though, create a profile with your name, your address, your phone number, your major, your estimated date of graduation. There's going to be boxes you can check like full-time, part-time, internships, and so on. Click them all. And so then as the college gets in job postings, you're going to get the ones that fit your criteria. And so it's actually a really, really good service. Also, be aware that throughout the year, WCCC has what's called Westpac's Job Fair, and it's held down in Monroeville, so you'll see that advertised. And so if you're a student with us, you can go there for no cost, and you can go and meet with employers. But the other point as well is if you need help with a resume, we have career services here at WCCC that'll help you if you want to meet with them. But of course, if you just want to submit your resume to College Central, they'll review it and they'll tell you if it's acceptable or not. So just wanted to let you know that. So college services, career services here will help you. Our reference librarians are also available if you're interested in working for a particular company or a particular industry. They'll help you. Of course, if you want to look at the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and you can type into Google, and it's called the Occupation Outlook Handbook, and it'll tell you, if you're looking at it as a radiology technologist, how much you can expect to make, what types of, areas you can work in, the expected job growth, and so on. But it's really interesting to see what some of your opportunities in those fields can be, so I would check that out. I would also create a profile on LinkedIn.com, and if you have a resume or if you have some information, but if you have a picture of yourself, I would definitely put that in there. And if you want to get connected to me through LinkedIn, that's a good thing. Because in the future, if you need a letter of recommendation or a reference, I could write one just right there for you, and it's visible for you. One of our former employees here, she now works down in Florida. She is the administrative assistant to like the academic vice president at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical Institute in Orlando, Florida. And so I wrote a recommendation for her and two other people here. And she has a very, very nice LinkedIn profile. If you get a chance, type in this person's name. His name's Brian Burton. He's an African-American former Pennsylvania State Trooper. So if you see him, and he'll come up, has a shaved head. He's kind of muscular. He has a real nice, LinkedIn profile. And so I think he does a really, really, good job. There was another student that I had in class named Josh Dronzek, Dronzek, and he owns a company now called Gray Signal, and he uses that, to get connected to customers and so on. The good thing also about LinkedIn is you can join groups. So once you create a profile, and then, so if you're in rad tech, you can join groups and the other people that are interested in rad tech or in engineering or robotics or whatever it is that you may be. But it's a good way to, to get connected. So finally, if you ever need a reference, a letter of recommendation, or if you need any help, or if you want me to do a phone interview with an employer, let me know, and I'll do whatever I can, to help you, because I'm obviously interested in you as a student and as, getting jobs or opportunities. And while you're here, if you ever were interested in doing an internship, I could give you some information on that. It's typically about 120 hours, but you work for a company, paid or unpaid, but you gain experience, and it really does help you, as a whole. Because many years back, I had a student who was an intern for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so now she works for them in the public relations department. But that's a good way for them to see what you're like, and for you also to find out what they do. So again, our career services at WCCC can help you get connected to internships. So the idea is obviously, to use your education, your skills and knowledge and everything that you get from this school or wherever else you go to get that really good job. So let me know if I can ever help you in any way, and I would definitely do whatever I could. Thanks.